Alright, let's do this. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching WearTesters on YouTube. My name is Jackson. Today, we got a performance review, and it's on the Nike Cosmic Unity 2. Last year's Cosmic Unity was a big hit for Nike. It was a shoe that you could take indoors and outdoors. You had really good support features, really great traction, and a cushion setup that blended stability with responsiveness. So how do they follow it up? With the Cosmic Unity 2. With a $10 price increase. The original retailed for $150. These are going for $160. So how do these hold up against the original? Not very well. Not at all. This shoe, just like the original, is part of Nike's Move to Zero movement. So it's made with at least 20% recycled material. I don't know if this really impacts performance or if it impacts the earth at all, but it's been part of Nike's marketing for both the Cosmic Unity and the Cosmic Unity 2, so it's worth mentioning. As always, let's get started with my favorite aspect of the shoe, and it's actually a tie between the traction and the cushion, so let's start with the traction. It's a multi-directional traction pattern, and it works great indoors and outdoors. This stuff handles dust with no issues, and the rubber compound is durable enough to not wear out the second you take them outside. One interesting thing here is that Nike describes the outsole as both durable and thin. So while it might not be your best option outdoors as opposed to a shoe that has just a lot of rubber on the outsole, because of that durable rubber compound, this is better than most of the shoes on the market right now in terms of outdoor traction durability. Next, let's talk cushion. Zoom Strobel carries over from the first Cosmic Unity, and what it brings you is a really bouncy feeling with a ton of court feel. Your foot sits within that midsole, even up there in the forefoot. It rests right there where the midsole creases a little bit. What isn't carried over from the original Cosmic Unity is that crater foam. Nike describes the foam used here as more of a basketball-oriented foam. It's a little bit more lightweight. It's not quite so dense. I assume it's some variation of just a regular Phylon. It's not Cushlon or React, but since you have that full-length Zoom Strobel, you don't need it. If you're looking for a more soft, plush foam to go along with that Zoom Strobel, I'd look towards the KD 14 or 15, because both of those have full-length Cushlon. As for these, I love the way that they feel. It gives you both the impact protection and the responsiveness that pretty much anybody would want or need. On top of that, the shoe is just ridiculously flexible up front, so that flexibility turns the forefoot area just into a springboard. I'll talk more about that flexibility coming up here in a little bit. As for the insole, Nike's using that styrofoam type insole that you found on some of the past KD models as well as on the Kobe 6. The insole won't provide any extra impact protection or any crazy step-in comfort, but with that Zoom Strobel setup, you don't need it. This is where things start to go downhill. Let's get into the materials. You've got a textile upper with some fuse overlays in the forefoot, both on the lateral and medial side. Around the collar, you've got this felt-like material. Dude, the materials on these, for 160 bucks, these suck. So the material used here is just, it's super thin. It's not strong enough to really offer any kind of containment. And it stands out even more when you compare it to the Cosmic Unities from last year, which retailed for $10 less and had a really thick, sturdy, supportive knit upper. So for 160 bucks, Nike's giving you materials that are worse than shoes that retail for half the price. This shoe costs more than this shoe. How? I don't know. If the midsole were to cradle that forefoot area a little bit more, like it did on the original Cosmic Unity, that would probably compensate for the lack of support on the upper materials. But this is what Nike's given us, and it's just not enough. One bright side about the materials is that because they're so thin and flexible, there's no break-in time required. But what good is break-in time when the materials aren't supportive enough in the first place? One other positive note is that the tongue has a lot of perforations in there, and that allows for a little bit of airflow. It doesn't make that big of a difference, but that is one positive thing. So now let's talk fit. It's just all over the place. I got my normal size 12. And as soon as I put these on, and I mentioned this in my initial video for the shoe, it's ridiculously tight through the midfoot area. I have narrow feet and these still bothered me, and that's something that I really don't remember the last shoe I could say that about. At first I thought the main culprit was just the foam pieces that really rise up in that midfoot area onto the upper, which I figured would break in pretty easily. But once I started playing in these, what I realized is that wasn't it. It's actually the midfoot shank that's causing that tightness and the pain that I was feeling in my midfoot throughout my time playing in the shoe. So what that torsion plate does is it wraps up around the sides of the foot just a little bit, but just enough that you can feel it. That midfoot shank is reminiscent of the Sprint frame that Adidas used on the Crazy Light, the D-Rose 1, the Crazy Quick, and so that's what was causing all the pinching and the pain that I was feeling in my midfoot area. And you can probably assume where this is going when it comes to the overall fit of the shoe. So if I was to try to lace these up tightly, I like a close 1-to-1 fit. I normally lace my shoes up pretty tight. So if I was going to do that, it was just causing way too much pain in the midfoot area for me to be able to play in these. So then if I were to loosen up the laces to relieve that pressure, it came with a compromise to the overall fit, specifically in that forefoot area. Again, I already mentioned how the materials used on the upper really aren't strong enough to contain the foot by themselves. And that midsole in the forefoot area doesn't come up enough to bring enough containment to make up for that. So what ended up happening was I was just sliding around. I was never confident that I was contained in the forefoot area like at all. Heel containment was fine, but again, if you loosen up the laces to relieve the midfoot pressure, the heel fit then wasn't spot on like it really should be. So as far as sizing recommendations go, I have no idea, man. Lengthwise, true to size was the right way to go. So you tell me what size you should get. If you're a wide footer, just forget about it. So all of that leads me to the support. Obviously, the foundation of every shoe's support is a good fit, so we're not off to a good start. So first, let's just look at the support features that Nike is giving to us here. You've got that painful midfoot shank plate. You've got an internal heel counter that is supported by this foam piece that wraps all the way around. You don't have any outriggers, but again, you do sit within the foam, especially in the back of the shoe and in the midfoot area, and even in the forefoot, again, just a little bit. But sadly, the forefoot didn't offer much containment due to the poor fit and materials. That alone would make me stay away from a shoe, but don't worry, it gets worse.
What?
So I mentioned flexibility and how that forefoot area is just outrageously flexible. The torsion bar does a good job of kind of springing you into that step. The problem is, if you can flex a shoe this way, that's fine. You can still make a supportive shoe that's really flexible up front. That is possible. What you can't have is a shoe that twists and bends. Look at that! You can't. This thing just twists and bends all over. It's not strong enough. For reference, here's the original Cosmic Unity. In the original Cosmic Unity, you still have that flexible toe area, but you're not able to fold the shoe in half. It's a supportive shoe. This is not. I ended up rolling my ankle playing in these on a move where I've never rolled my ankle before. I wasn't even making a move. The shoe just kind of gave out on me when I wasn't even pushing it that hard. And again, consistently I was feeling my foot moving around, sliding off the footbed. Bottom line is, I don't trust these. I just don't. So overall, I'm glad I'm done wearing these. I just don't know how you go from this to this and also increase the price by $10, but that's what happened. It's a major downgrade. There's no other way around it. The traction was good. The cushion was good. Those two things carried over from the original. But, upper materials, fit, support is a major downgrade. I can't recommend anybody wear these. I know that's harsh, but look, if I didn't feel safe wearing them, then why would I recommend them to anybody? And at $160, there are so many better options out there from Nike and from any other brand. You could get 2 pairs of shoes on clearance right now that perform infinitely better than these for the same price or even less. So just be smart, okay?
Just do it!
That's about all I've got for these. I'm sorry for such a downer of a review, but hey, they were a downer to play in. Do you have the Cosmic Unity too? Have you played in them? Do you like them? Do you hate them? What don't you like about them? What do you like about them? Let me know down in the comments section. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace and much love to you.